Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Aging Experts. My name is Barbara Ellison, and I believe that each and every one of us deserves to lead a happy, healthy, financially free, abundant life, especially in our later years. So that's what this show is all about, just giving you tips and strategies on how to do that. So, Carol, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And I have Life by Design, and I want you to live the second half of your life better than your first. So that's what's really, really exciting is to be able to help people to be healthier and happier many, many ways, spirit, soul, and body, the words you speak, the things you eat, the things you do. And we have some great people on today. Many of y'all have met Blanca. Some of you have met Blair, but they're going to be talking to us a little bit today about the importance of voting, the importance of running for office, where it starts, how it starts, whether Blair is running for a county commissioner seat, but, school board, PTA president, it can start there. Just things like that. We were talking beforehand. Only one president has ever just walked into the presidential office, and that was the last president we had, Donald John Trump. But
Ronald Reagan.
thank you, Ronald Reagan. It's blonde, guys. It's not all color, okay? Ronald Reagan, he was an actor, and that's what people knew him for. But then he was the governor of
Of
California.
California.
Robert Kennedy, he was a senator before he was a president. Almost, in fact, I don't think there's another president that wasn't something else before. George Washington, probably, but nobody was president before him, and he was a general and served the
And
country.
he was a general.
Yeah, there wasn't a Senate or any of that kind of stuff beforehand. So political offices start at the local area. They start with the dog catcher, the school board, the city commissioner, county commission, or just all of those things. So don't think those spots are unimportant. They are probably more important than some of the higher up spots because that's where you get started and that's where you start building your base. So I'm gonna let
you get known for your leadership skills.
yes.
And that's where leadership skills start.
Yes. And so much of the time now they've made politics about personalities, not about leadership skills and jobs that got done. What they said they were going to do that they did after they were elected. So many of them speak one way before and another way after.
Right.
So that's you need to look at the voting records if there is one. In Blair's case, he doesn't have a voting record, but he has a widespread knowledge of people that know him, know his heart, have watched him walk for years, and know that he is a man of his word, and that Blanca's a woman of her word, and the backgrounds that they have, and the things they've done in the community. I mean, they own a whole city.
That's what I was just going to say. They own
a town. It was an abandoned town, but now they own it and they're bringing it back to life, and it's no longer abandoned. And there are people there just almost every day, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Now we usually have 1 to 5 people staying the night with us in their campers now.
That's great. That's great. And there's a tourist court. I don't know if people know what that is nowadays, but a tourist court that they're refurbishing so people can like go there and have a room. It's really pretty incredible. So I'm going to let them take it. And like I said, we may ask them some questions. We may interrupt them now and then. I'm really good at that. And so, y'all, Blanca, introduce yourself and let's start from the wife's perspective.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Blanca Schaefer, and I am Blair's partner in crime in everything that we do. He'll think of the idea, and I think he's crazy. And then I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's attack this. And that's how we pretty much have that's how our relationship's been since we've been together. I thought he was crazy when we got into the health and wellness industry. I just thought, wow, I've never done that. So I got on that ride with him, and we'll be at it 10 years. All I can say about that is that it is really good to know that a good walk for about 30 minutes in the sun will give you all the vitamin D you need. It'll help you on your relationship, especially if you're walking together. Helps bring out business ideas, or
Mhm.
hey, how are we going to go on our next trip? Just different things like that. It gives us a chance to connect. And that's what I love about that part of our health and wellness journey. We turned 50 this year, y'all. And I don't feel 50. When I was a teenager, I thought 50 was
So old.
so old and so far away, and wow. But more than anything, I feel more rejuvenated and more alive now that I know how to put and stack the odds in our favor for better health. It's drinking your water, it's making sure that your whatever program that you're on, and that you're taking care of yourself, and just and overall being good to people. That has a lot to do with it too, I think. Being good to people and being in prayer for others, even when they coming at you a different way. But when Blair decided that he wanted to run for office, I thought he was crazy. But this isn't his first time. 4 years ago, he spoke about running for office, but we were just too busy. Now, that was 4 years ago, before the farm, before our little Jericho adventures, and we're busier now more than ever. But with my husband, he has a
Mindset.
servant's heart. Yeah, it's a mindset. He has a servant's heart, and I can't take that from him. That is his love language. And when someone's love language is to serve others and to serve the community, then I really had to shift in my mind how to cusp that and make not him better, but bring myself up also into how do I match that, or how can I support that. And so being in office or running for a political candidacy has been so rewarding. And then there are those character building days, and I think you'll have those at anything that we do, but politics is a different monster. And I take really big offense to things, especially when they come after my husband or they're saying things. And I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter by heart. I'm a scrapper, and I have to tone it down a whole lot. But there's different ways that I can help him be better in the arena, and that is sharpening my skills by studying local politics, by studying what's going on social media, the trends, how to be better in social media, where to be stronger at on our strong skills, and then work on our weaker areas that we have. And right now, time is a little bit of what do you say? We're always fighting time. Seems like. And so we just have to really schedule things, especially with social media. We can schedule those things, put them out and then do different things like that. So from a wife point of view, I just stay in prayer for him. I try to make sure that he has what he needs without having to ask. And that's because I want to. That's because he's doing so much for us at home and us here in our businesses that I feel that that's my duty right now, to be there for him, and and to make sure that he has everything that he needs. And if we don't have it, then I'll go buy it.
Well, like that stuff, because I'm still working full time. We have 3 businesses, and then running for commissioner. My schedule is extremely full, and it's hard for me to keep up with it sometimes. What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be doing? But I have a calendar. Blanca has a calendar, and then we have a big one up on the wall, and she updates all 3 of them to make sure we're in sync. And that's the way I get stuff done, is her making sure that we're at the meet and greets or at this event or on this call or doing this podcast or this video or door knocking, whatever it is. She's already got my schedule put out and knows where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be there, and helps keep me in line. And that's so helpful lots of times.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think one of the things that this, just what I'm hearing, is like, you can't do things on your own. And it not only in running for political office, but just in life.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so often I find people, well, oh, but I can't ask them. Pick like I was kind of brought up that if you need help, you pick yourself up, from the bootstraps and you just go on and you don't ask people for help. Well, yeah, that doesn't work
No,
Yeah.
because we are meant to be social beings.
yes. It's
Well, and
definitely,
that's why
Yeah.
some people
And
have one gift and some people have another, and they,
Exactly.
husbands and wives, they think they have to be strong in the same area.
Yeah, no.
Blair's strong in some, Blanca's strong in some, and it fits. And when we're fitted together rightly, well, that's just like in business. So many people in health and wellness see other people as a competitor. There's 80 billion people on the planet. Is that the right number, Barbara? 80 billion?
No, 7 billion. 7
Seven.
billion.
Okay.
7
7. There would be if there were 7 billion people. Zeros are meaningless to me. Okay. I do the same with money, but there are 7 billion people on the planet. And, if there's 3 people in the room that are in different wellness areas, there's enough for everybody.
Right.
There's enough.
And they
for
all
everybody.
see it differently. And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of politics. And
Mhm.
you might not agree with the politics right now that's going on anywhere at any time, any day. However, that's the beauty of politics. It's because we all have a voice. Find the voice that you resonate with
Right.
and then go support them.
Yes.
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 And on top of that, sometimes you might need to be the voice,
Or
especially
be
at the local levels where you got your school boards, your city council, your county commissioners, county JPs, constables. There's so
Yeah.
many positions that you can apply for and run. Like school boards, you don't have to have special education or nothing like that, but you have to be involved. And even just attending the school board meetings. We here locally had a school board bond and they wanted to spend 120 million or something like that. And they were putting some of these issues up, and there was only literally like 2 local citizens going to the school board meetings.
Mm.
And they're
Mhm.
talking about all this money, literally millions and millions of dollars to spend. And they have no input from the people living there, from the parents and grandparents that have kids going to these school districts. And that's really sad when you have school board people making these decisions and nobody giving them input or questioning them on it.
Right.
Well,
It's so simple to get involved in.
Yeah.
And
You
then
think-
wondering, well, why did they do that? Well,
Yes.
nobody
Yes.
stopped them.
Yeah.
And
Well,
vice
and
versa.
even for people that homeschool, I mean, we saw homeschooled, but we still paid taxes to the school district.
Mhm.
Therefore, and our group here, this is the aging experts. You have more time than those parents do to run for office.
Yes.
You have more knowledge, more
Experience.
wisdom than hopefully than the younger people that are,
Yeah. And you can be the voice of reason.
yes. And
and-
so you can go and spend your time, and people need to be volunteering, they need to be working, you need to be productive. So if you've retired and you're sitting on your sofa doing the clicker thing, it's like, let's get out and do something to benefit society, and running for office is a very, very good option for that, because
Right.
the world needs you. And we've talked about that a lot of times, like, how do you share your knowledge? You start a podcast. How do you do this, that, or the other? You go and start. Barbara started out with what was it, 30-second
30
Instagram
seconds on Instagram.
is how and now she has two shows plus these 3 podcasts that we do. And so those things, you, our listeners, for the most part in this show, have the time to go and do what Blair and Blanca are doing, because it takes some time, it takes some commitment, it takes some long-term commitment.
Right. And even if that's not for you to actually run, there's lots of ways that you can back somebody that's running. Like myself, I have about 20 people on my team, and I'm running for a commissioner, which is, I'm gonna be over about 25,000 people. I got a team of 20 people helping me, and I let them up to them what they want to volunteer with. I have some that help me with my meet and greets. So they'll get there before me and help decorate. They'll make sure we have some food and beverages available. And I have some that like to go door to door knocking and talking to people one-on-one. I have some that like to do podcasts like this, or very technologically. So they'll do YouTube videos with me. They'll do podcasts and stuff like that with me. So just being involved, there's lots of different ways you can do and help your candidate if you're not the one that wants to run. And that's what I put to my team. I talk to them almost daily and say, this is what I've got going on. And then I'll let them choose their strong points and engage and volunteer at the level and task that they enjoy. So that you're still doing something that you enjoy, because enjoying what you're doing is very important.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And that applies to every age. And yet I truly believe that as we age, we need to be much more cognizant of that. Do what you enjoy.
Mhm.
I mean, especially if you have been in a career that you haven't enjoyed. So do something that you absolutely, totally enjoy. And the thing, one of my favorite sayings is that, what, if you're good at something, chances are there is somebody out there that is not good at it, and they are in desperate need and want of somebody who can teach them.
Yes.
Yes.
Get out there and find, there are people who want to know how to do things.
Yes.
So get out there, let people know what you do.
Definitely.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
And just talk to people. That's one thing I think, especially in the political realm, that's missing, is people no longer know how to communicate. They don't know how to negotiate. They don't know how to debate. They're either right or left. And in reality, most people are right here in the middle, and
Right.
go one side or the other. But most people are right here. But because of the loud person over here or the loud person over here, that they start getting pulled apart. And the person over here only wants it done this way, and the person over here only wants it done this way. And the people just won't hear. They want safety, they want cleanliness, they want security. And that's what most people want, and that's what the government is supposed to provide. The services that your businesses can't provide.
Right.
And most of it's safety and security, and the far this way and far this way, they just need to come together and learn how to negotiate, learn how to debate, because this is where they need to be. And if you take three from here that you agree upon, don't worry about the other 9 items that you don't agree upon. Take what you agree upon and let's take some action forward and get some
Right.
stuff done. And I think that art of negotiation and debate has been lost in today's world a lot of times.
Yes, it's become, you've got to think my way, or you're bad, you're horrible, going to throw you out with the trash. And there are very few people that are out there that far the other way.
Right.
And they are there, there are some people there that won't ever change. And yet there are, for the most part, people are good-hearted. They want the best for their families, for their children, their grandchildren. But you're right. People no longer, we've lost the ability to agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's like you have to
And
agree
be
with me
respectful
on
about it.
everything, or, Keith and
We've
Blanca
become
and
a
Blair
little
could
bit,
disagree on how to raise a cabbage, how to
we've
do a
been-
squash.
we've become kind of like an all or nothing
Mhm.
society. It doesn't. There's so many shades of, that are in between.
Yep.
Find those people.
But don't you think some of that not knowing how to debate and how to
Yes.
work things out
Yes.
comes from the don't talk politics or religion?
Exactly.
Don't do
Exactly.
that. You
That's
can't
how
do
I
that.
was brought up.
Yeah.
You didn't
well,
talk about,
yeah.
you didn't talk about money. You didn't talk about, you never talked about how much you made. You never talked
Mhm.
about if you were in financial difficulty. You never talked about
You didn't
politics.
admit to
Never
making
talked about religion.
mistakes.
Nope.
Well, and just even the kind of industry all of us come out of, it's like, oh, I'm great. I'm the leader. And they teach us complain up and, you know, give value down. I've forgotten the word, but anyway, you can't ever say, this was hard. This little
Right.
job they gave us, that was hard. Did you have a hard time with that?
Right.
So yeah, you need to
Yeah, or-
find a confidant. If you can't, I mean, no, it's not, what's done in Vegas stays in Vegas. You can't tell everybody,
Right.
what your issues are. You can't just be going around just throwing up on everybody of, oh, I'm having a problem here, I'm having a problem there. But you need to be transparent and that. Well, like Blanca gets out and she's out working, it's hot out here. I'm sweating, but I'm doing the do.
And one of my things is that, we all make mistakes. If you have made a mistake, especially if you're a politician, if you've made a mistake, fess up, take the heat, and then just go on, because we've all done it. It's when you try to hide it, and then it becomes even more paramount. It becomes like huge, and
Or worse than that,
fess up.
I never did that. I didn't do that.
Yes.
I never did. I never will. And then they show the pictures of you doing it.
And
And
then
it's unmistakable. The video with the audio.
Everything's on video nowadays,
Yes.
everything.
Exactly.
and you never know who's watching.
No,
Very true.
no.
You never know who's watching or listening.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And you can be doing something totally innocent,
Mhm.
or you can be doing something that's not so stellar.
Yep.
And you do not know.
Well,
who's
and the
watching or
sad thing
listening.
is nowadays they can take clips of you were
Oh,
doing
yeah.
something totally innocent and it looks kind of
It
iffy.
really looks, yes.
Yes.
So be discerning. I mean,
Yeah.
if you see something, hey, you know what? Sometimes take it with a little grain of salt, and but do your research.
Mhm.
Don't just, I find so often people are blindly sharing gossip or, whatever. And it's then you find out later that it was like, well, that's not what happened,
Right.
Well,
Mhm.
and I've got to say, I've got to step in here, and this is definitely a bunny trail. If you see something happening, step in. Don't just
Step in.
videotape it.
Right.
How many videotapes have we seen of somebody being beaten bloody on the street and everybody standing around with their phone
Right.
and no one steps in? Or, a fire, sitting there filming the fire, waiting when people are saying, help me out, help me. And, just, or encourage them, just like somebody's struggling with something and you have those words of encouragement, but instead of giving them, you wait for somebody else to give it.
Right.
Step out, help people. And I'm not saying running into a burning building and knock Blair out of the way and say, I've got
Right,
this, Blair.
Also kind of on that level where we're talking about politics, you have to let your politicians know what you want.
Right.
I was part of a going to some training on farming and gardening and stuff like that, and cottage selling and stuff like that. And they were talking about usually it only takes 15 to 20 people to get your senators and congressmen, especially at the state levels, attention. Because they're, when they come into session, they've got tons of bills that they're looking at,
Mhm.
and usually the only ones that get attention are the ones that are loud. And if you got one person saying, hey, I want this bill passed, I want you to look at this, I want you to sponsor this, it's not very likely to get looked at. But by the time they get their crew to come up there and they get this, we've got 15 emails on this right here, and I've got 5 phone calls, 15 emails, and then the senator or the congressman's like, oh, okay, let's look into this. I need y'all to form a little committee, bring me back the data and see what we can and can't do about this.
Right.
And that's 15 people out of, Ronnie Jackson, you're looking at probably I'm just kind of guessing here, about 2 million people that'll be representing, maybe a little bit more than that. It only takes 15, 20 people to get his attention, but those people have to send into the emails. They have to make the phone calls. They have to go to the town hall meetings and get in touch with them and tell them, because they want to, like me, I'm running for city commissioner or county commissioner. I want to do what my citizens want. But if you don't tell me what you want, if you can't guide me in a direction, then you get what I think is best. And it may be good, it may not be good, but I just got to make decisions off my experience unless I'm getting input. And I want the input very much. I want the input.
Well, in to the situation like with Ronnie Jackson, yes, you get the things in the mail of let's come to $100 a plate dinner or so much a table, but there's also things that are free that you can go and meet him and greet him. He and my husband hail from the same hometown, so it doesn't have to be only the moneyed people that get his attention. He will visit with anybody, anywhere. Go to the events, get on the list, show up. We
went to a meeting with Ronnie Jackson down in Howardwick, which is a little bitty town, 400 population, and he had a luncheon down there one day. There again, it was free lunching. They provided dinner or lunch that afternoon. The local community was doing the lunching, and all you had to do was show up, and we had plenty of time to talk to him, and he had plenty of time to talk to us. It was a real nice atmosphere, relaxed, about 30 people there. So we really had an audience that he could engage with and talk with. And there again, he was talking agriculture with a lot of the local farmers and ranchers right there in that area.
Yeah.
But he was very accessible if you look and get to those events.
Yes.
Yeah, voice your concerns, and voice your support.
Yes, exactly. And I will tell you that the up and coming, and for those of y'all that don't know Ronnie Jackson, he was President Trump's Bush, Obama, and Trump's personal physician. Okay. But anyway, and now he's our senator. But
Congress.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so he was he's more accessible than maybe someone else who has been there for 50 years and such as that. But that's what's going on right now is people are calling for some new blood, in both the House and the Congress and the, all through politics from the top down. They want new blood. And they're not, well, I guess some are out for blood, but but sometimes it was never meant, Washington was never meant to be a retirement home with lots of perks. You were to be the citizen politician and go off and serve your time for a year or 2 or 3 and come home and live under the laws you've made.
Yes.
And so I think just like what Blair's doing, this grassroots growing of new people coming in and saying, I want to serve. It's that servant's heart that this country needs, that the world needs, but that, we're all in the US. So that's something I want to really encourage people, get out, find a niche where you fit and run for office. I mean, you could be any number of things I always thought a county coroner had to be a doctor. You don't have to. It's somebody willing to serve.
Yep.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, your justice of the peace is who usually does it here.
Yes.
And sometimes they have degrees, sometimes they don't. A lot of our JPs have been coming from law enforcement side.
Yes.
So they've been sheriff or deputies, military or city police, and have moved on to the JP position.
Yeah, I meant to say JP. I didn't mean a coroner does have to have a doctor's degree, but yeah, the JP doesn't have to have all the degrees. So you do get called out in the middle of the night if somebody dies and you have to go pronounce, but so do your part. Everyone, do your part. Get out, vote, serve, make the last half of your life the best half of your life.
Yes.
So
There's so much that
anyway.
you can volunteer, that you can do, whether it's being a county chair, precinct chair, sitting on boards with the city because they got lots of different boards and need input. Go spend 2 hours a month on some of these boards that they have and give your input, give your wisdom, give your experience. And they're it's just about serving.
Yes.
You're,
Yes.
you're up there in age, you've gained a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom throughout the time, and now the time to share it back.
Exactly. So if you don't like the way the world is now, get out there and make it better.
Get out there and change it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, guys, any last words before we say goodbye?
Just be active, and thank y'all for having us on, and let's have a blessed day.
Oh, thank you for coming on. We do appreciate it. So we'll see you all,
Everybody.
and be sure to circle up instead of circling down.